Well, welcome YouTube friends and family to today's edition of the Wellness Homesteader. If you are new to my channel, my name is Kim. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you will stay with us. We have a great group of guys and gals here on my channel and do a lot of fun things. So I'm still in my preservation mode, and I did get all of my Cortland apples dehydrated, jarred up, and also vacuum sealed. But I still have about 3 pounds of pink lady apples, and they are absolutely gorgeous. Now there's a couple boo-boos on these, but yeah, we'll work around that. So very, very pretty. So I've gone back and forth, like, what do I want? I could make, some jelly, I could make applesauce, and neither of those things I really need. So I had shared in an earlier video this book, and it's called Canning for a New Generation, and I was like, yeah, it's okay. Well, now that I've done a little bit deeper dive, there are some good recipes in here, one of which we're going to make today. And if you were a child of the 50s or 60s, I, of course, was a 60s child, you may have had spiced apple rings. Now, once upon a time, it was very much a holiday delicacy, and they were deeply colored with red dye, about the color of beets. Of course, today we don't do that, but I am very pleased to see sort of a renaissance of this type of canning, just without the harmful red dye. So I also wanted to share with you, this is definitely falling apart. This was my beloved grandma's cooking and canning book. It's the Ball Blue book. It is copyrighted 1938. My grandma was born in 1898. And as I was perusing, and I want to share this with you because my grandma obviously used this page because it has her food stains on it. What they call sweet fruit pickles, which you can do with peaches, apples, pears, and crab apples. And I'm astonished that the recipe was very similar. This does not call for the red dye, but just interesting that some of the old-timey recipes are still available today. So one of the reasons I have you over here is I want to share something. If you all have the Victorio apple peeler slicer, this I think is called the Johnny Appleseed Peeler is the proper name. I call it my favorite hand saver because it really saves so much time and effort once you get it adjusted. So if you have one of these and you're like, it's a pain to use and I don't want to use it, let me just share the manual that's online. Is really good, and it can walk you through how to adjust it. Or if you like a more visual representation, they do have videos. And when I first got mine, I was having a lot of problems, like it was taking off too much peeler, not enough peeler, it was binding up, etc. Now that I have it adjusted and I know how to use it, it has really been a labor saver for me. The little bar right here, I'll undo it, is the vacuum seal. So if you place it on a flat surface and pull it down, it's fairly sturdy. What I will tell you is once the juice from the apples kind of seep around it, it's going to come up. So a lot of times you'll see me holding and turning at the same time. The other thing I wanted to share with you, because this perplexed me, so let me bring you a little bit closer. Try to get you right down on it. Okay, so this portion is the peel portion. So once you pull back, you need 5 hands here. Once you pull back the skewer for the apple, you would place it on like yay. It will then, based on pressure, go back and forth to cut the apple both at the small end, the big end, and then again at the small end. But let's say you want to make a dish and you don't want to peel it, you just want to core it and slice it. So you simply pull back the peeling arm, take this little device here, and lock it. So now I can go through, I can core and slice all of my apples. I'm going to put them into a very heavy This is a Lodge enamel coated cast iron pan. And then I will bring you back when I have all my apples cut up to talk about how we are going to spice and pickle these apples. Well, the apple peeler made, the apple corer and slicer made quick work. So of course, they're all one continuous string, so you do have to cut through each apple, so you're gonna have one little split, but they still look very pretty. Into this pan, I have placed, this is 3 pounds of apples. I have 3 pounds of apple cider vinegar, 5% acidity. And then I've made, just with some cheesecloth, some spices, like a little spice bag. So I put several cinnamon sticks, some whole star anise, which they say to break up. So I'm gonna say I have maybe 5 cinnamon sticks, and I love anise, so I probably have like 6 anise seeds and about a teaspoon of black whole peppercorns. So I am just going to tie this up in hopes that it won't escape out into the syrup, but if it does, we can strain it. Tie it up tight. I am going to actually add it down into, I'm going to take this over to the stove. I'm going to start it out on high heat. I'm going to add my sugar in, stirring gently so that I'm not breaking up all the beautiful apple slices. And then once it comes to a boil, I'm going to turn it to simmer, stirring occasionally for about 45 minutes until the apples are translucent and tender and the syrup has gotten thick. So I will bring you back at that point. Well, I wanted to bring you over to the cooktop here and show you. It's said to cook the apples for about 45 minutes, and I have about 7 minutes left of that until they're translucent, cooked through. These are certainly done, and I'm hoping that the rings will retain their shape. But it said also you want that syrup to thicken. I'm not sure how much it's really going to thicken up without adding a ton more sugar, and that's not the taste that I'm going for. So I have taken the lid off. It is still, as you see, bubbling pretty good. I'm going to let some of that liquid reduce, and then we'll get started putting our spiced apple rings into jars. Stay tuned. All right, well, we have our cooked apples in my first hot jar out of the canner. So I am going to try to preserve as best I can, and that's not looking real positive, the shape of at least some of these apples. So of course, depending on the type of apple that you use is going to depend on how quickly they soften. So Pink Lady cooked up more like an apple sauce, but I still think it's going to be wonderful. I am trying not to tear into the apples any more than what I have to. And wow, is that ever hot. So you do want to fill it to 1/4 inch headspace, and you want to very carefully debubble so that you're not, further tearing up the pretty look of the apples. So this is going to look a lot like apple pie filling. And then, let's see here. Ooh, wow, that's hot. Get some liquid to top off with. I need 4 arms, right? All right. So, as always, you do want to debubble your jars, and I can see already I'm going to need some more liquid in here. But guys, I always wish YouTube had some smell-o-vision, because this smells incredibly good. It smells like apples, but it's got that lovely spicy smell as well. So I am going to clean my, woo-wee, that's hot, rim really well. So this is a wide mouth pint. I did decide to do a couple pints because I thought they would make excellent take to events for the holidays. I know my family will enjoy them. So we'll put our ring on just finger tight and into the canner. So I will bring you back at the end to show you the final product and let you know how many jars, pints and half pints, I was able to get out of 3 pounds of apples. So I ended up with 7 jelly jars or half pints and 1 pint. I will say the apples are very soft, so this is going to be more like a spiced apple relish. We'll make up a new name for it. But let me tell you all, and this one's going in the fridge since it's not full. It is absolutely amazing. It would be a perfect accompaniment to a rich meal as a little relish side dish. I can see it with turkey, I can see it with ham. I think it would go with anything, pork particularly. Pardon me. So they're all in the canner. As soon as it comes up to boil, I'm going to process it 10 minutes, take the lid off, let it rest 5, and then they will come out of the canner for sealing and cooling for the next 24 hours. Stay tuned. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 half pints and 1 pint. So the equivalent of 9 half pints or jelly jars plus a little bit that I was able to put in the refrigerator to enjoy now. If you haven't already, if you'd please go ahead and smash that like button. Let me know you're enjoying the content. Drop me a comment below. How is your fall harvest going? I'm getting very close to being finished. I love apples so much, so there may be some more apple things that come along, but these are different. First time I've tried it, and definitely enjoying the new book after my initial kind of thumbs down impression. So as always, be healthy, be well, be blessed. Y'all take care, and I'll see you very soon.